The near accident left Alina shaken, her heartbeat still thundering as Daniel steadied her on her feet. She looked up to thank him, only to be met with warm brown eyes and a voice gentler than the wind. She was supposed to be meeting a blind date inside the cafe, some high-profile businessman her family insisted she evaluate as a potential match. Instead, she found herself staring at the man who'd saved her life, feeling strangely anchored by a stranger. Alina walked into the cafe still trembling, the noise of chatter and the clinking of glasses blurring into the background. Her blind date arrived late, arrogant and dismissive, talking about portfolios and assets as if emotions were footnotes. She tried to focus, but her gaze drifted again and again to Daniel across the room, his worn-out jacket, the way he smiled at customers, how he handed a toy wrench to a little boy who called him Dad. When the date sneered at the cafe's cheap environment, Alina excused herself, needing air more than conversation. Outside, she found Daniel fixing an old motorcycle. She didn't know why she talked to him, maybe because he was real in a world where everyone treated her like a walking bank account. He teased her gently about her runaway heels, and she laughed, really laughed, for the first time in months. Days passed, and Alina found reasons to return to that little town. Sometimes she brought pastries just to see Daniel's son, Noah, beam with joy. Other times she came with no reason at all. Daniel, cautious and humble, tried to keep his distance, convinced a woman like her didn't belong in his world. But Alina felt something blooming, something freeing, yet behind her warmth lingered the pressure of her wealthy family, her responsibilities, and a marriage alliance they refused to let her escape. Daniel didn't push, didn't demand, but she felt torn between two futures, one chosen for her, and one she wanted more than she dared admit. The tipping point came when her father discovered her visits. He confronted her, warning her that a small-town mechanic would destroy the legacy she was born into. That night, Alina cried alone in her penthouse, missing the simplicity of Daniel's world. Missing him. And fearing she might have to let him go. Chapter 2. It started with a knock on Daniel's door, urgent, breathless, and full of fear. Alina stood there drenched from the storm outside, mascara smeared, hands trembling. "They want me to marry someone else," she choked out before Daniel could even ask what was wrong. "They want me to forget you." Daniel's heart clenched. He guided her inside, wrapping a blanket around her shoulders as Noah peeked from behind the couch. The warmth of the small home was a sharp contrast to the cold hall she came from. She broke down finally, telling Daniel everything she had been holding inside, her loneliness, her desire to choose her own path, and her confusion about why he made her feel safe in ways money never could. Daniel listened, his silence comforting rather than empty. When she finished, he took her hands, calloused, warm, steady. "Alina," he whispered, "I'm not someone who can give you the world you're used to. But if you want a simple life, if you want something real, I can give you that. And my son can love you more honestly than anyone your family chooses." Alina stayed the night, not out of romance but out of exhaustion and peace, two things she hadn't felt in years. She woke to the smell of pancakes and the sound of Noah giggling as Daniel tried, and failed, to flip one without dropping it. For a few hours, she felt normal. Happy, but the world outside didn't disappear. Her family soon arrived in town with lawyers and threats, accusing Daniel of manipulating her. Alina stepped forward before Daniel could defend himself. With fire in her voice she declared, "No one forced me into anything. I'm choosing the life I want." Her father's shock was visible. The townspeople gathered, supporting Daniel quietly, forming an unspoken shield around him. In that moment, Alina realized love wasn't about wealth, it was about courage. Her father left, furious but defeated. Alina made her choice. Months passed. She moved to the town, not abandoning her inheritance, but reshaping it. She used her resources to support small businesses, including Daniel's garage. She learned how to live simply, how to breathe without feeling like she was suffocating under expectations. And slowly, beautifully, she became part of Daniel and Noah's world. One evening at sunset, Daniel took her hand behind the cafe where they first met. "You changed my life," he murmured. "You saved mine first," she replied. Their love wasn't a fairy tale, it was a rebuild, a healing. A reminder that sometimes the richest life is the one that money can't buy. And sometimes the wrong blind date leads you to the right person.